Hello, YouTube family. Um, it is Friday the 10th, and it's been a really heavy week, right? These fires in LA, it's just been really devastating. There's been so much tragedy and loss, and it's one of those things where you want to watch the news, you want to know what's going on. It's hard to look away from, but also at the same time, you need to make sure you're taking breaks for yourself. Um, you need to make sure you're giving yourself time to kind of cleanse that heavy energy off of yourself, whether that's just by going for a walk in nature, grounding outside, walking around maybe in your yard barefoot, taking a few minutes to meditate. Just sit with your eyes closed in silence and concentrate on your breath and just breathe. Maybe do some yoga. I think it's just really important for us during these times to remember to take care of ourselves spiritually and emotionally, because it can be really overwhelming and you don't want to drop down into a sadness and into a darkness. But we can't be naive about the world outside. It's good to be aware and know what's happening, know what's going on, but also remember to hold that light in your heart. For the collective especially, you want to come back to the happiness, back to the light, back to the gratitude. I like to do this by saying a prayer of gratitude every morning. I started doing it in the car while I take my toddler to preschool. We do it together. It's really sweet. We go through all the things we're grateful for, and we thank God for, our life and our love that we have, and just everything we're really grateful for. And I think it's really a great example for me to set for him. And just also, it's a good reminder for yourself to go through the checklist of everything you have and everything you're blessed with. And it helps you just come back to that gratitude and that happiness, because that is such a high vibrational feeling that we have, and that's what you want. You want that high vibe, so it radiates out to everybody and it's contagious, and you just help spread the happiness out there, right? So that's just something I wanted to touch upon. I know this channel is started off with me telling my story, and that's really what I wanted for it. I want to introduce myself, let you know who I am, what I've gone through that's made me who I am today, and why I feel I have experiences and information and knowledge and things that I just want to share with everybody to help them live a happier life full of love and abundance, and to just get to a really good place in their life, since it can be really hard, especially in today's world. And now I know so many people really wanted 2025 to be a huge year of change, and it is. And it's going to be, and it already has started. It might not be in the way you think, though. There's a huge rebirth going on, and there's going to be a lot of destruction, unfortunately. I like to kind of look at it like, when we go through traumatic experiences ourselves in our life, there's a lesson in everything, right? And sometimes that's really hard for us to understand, especially when we're in the middle of our traumatic experience, when we're in the middle of whatever's happening to us, right? You're not like, oh, well, this horrible thing's happening to me. Let me stop and think, like, how can I grow and learn? But that's what we should do once we come out on the other side. And just to take it back to like my relationship with my ex, while I was in it and I was sick and I was bald and I was a shell of a person, I wasn't thinking, oh, what's the lesson I need to learn here? But once I got out of it and I started to get back to me and started to heal and grow, I realized, wow, there was so many lessons I needed to learn. There were so many lessons tied to my ego and just everything I was putting up that I thought was important and that I wanted and that I needed, and lessons in who I was and who I wanted to be with, and just the life I wanted to live. There were so many things I learned. And through all the experiences in my life that I've gone through, there's been huge life altering lessons. And I'm a firm believer that we are put in these situations to learn these lessons so we can grow and become a better version of ourselves. And that if we don't, we will continuously find ourselves in that same situation. Are you someone who you think, oh, I continuously date the wrong guy. I keep finding myself in these terrible relationships. Well, there's a lesson there that you need to learn about yourself. Why are you choosing these men? Was it something that happened to you? Was it some trauma you went through as a child? There's something that there's a correlation, and you continuously keep choosing the wrong person because you haven't healed, you haven't confronted that issue within yourself. And that's doing your shadow work. You probably hear that a lot, and it's something that people don't like to do because it's really hard. It's really hard to face yourself. It's really hard to look yourself in the mirror and be like, here's all the things wrong with me. I know I'm this, I know I'm that, and these are not good and these need to change. Or this was done to me, this horrible thing was done to me, and I need to heal from it. I need to figure out how to heal from that. I need to see a therapist. I need to do breath work. I need to start doing yoga. I need to start working out. I need to do things that bring happiness into my life. I need to work through it. I need to find a grief group, or a group of people that have been through the similar trauma I've been through, and talk about it and start to heal from it. Don't push it away. You can't push terrible things that have been done to you and experiences and feelings away and push them down. I think they're just going to go away. That's how we get sick. That's what I was doing. I was not facing what I was going through in my past relationship, and it made me physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, but physically it manifested and made me sick because I didn't want to deal with it. And then I had to deal with it. I had to wake up and I had to go, okay, I'm not happy. You're not right for me. You're doing this to me. I put myself in this situation. I ignored all these red flags. Why did I do that? Well, because I wanted this, this, and this. I thought I wanted this life. I thought I wanted this person. Why? Because I didn't want to have to take care of myself. I didn't want to have to grow up. I just wanted to marry someone with money who bought me fancy things, and I thought that would make me happy. Well, it didn't. I looked past who he was because of what he had. The first thing I put that was, I looked at with my husband is who he was as a person. I looked at his heart. I looked at his soul, because that was going to affect who I was. And that's what was most important to me, was who you are, not what you have, right? So just to go back to these lessons and these things, whatever it might be that has happened to you or that you're dealing with, it can be something super intense and terrible and horrible that you had no control over, or something that you did have control over. And it all comes back to looking at it and growing from it in any way you can. It's looking for that silver lining. These fires, it's horrible. It's devastating. What's the silver lining? Are you alive? At least that's something, right? And I know that's so hard to be like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm alive, but like I lost everything. What the hell am I gonna do? And I don't have all the answers, but I just think it's important to come back to the gratitude. I talked to this lady yesterday at the park, and we were talking about the fires, and we were talking about just a bunch of different topics, and we're talking about the lessons, basically what I'm talking about now, that you learn in life. And she, side note, I find that I am someone people love to just open up to and tell not their secrets, but yes, their secrets, and also just like spill their life to me. It happens all the time, everywhere I go. People, I'm friendly. I like to talk to people. I like to make friends, especially at the park. If I'm there without a friend and I'm just there with my kids, I'm always talking to moms and dads. And people just love to tell me like heavy things. And it's funny because sometimes I see the look on their face where they're like, I'm sorry, that was like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. You're a stranger. I don't even know you. And I always tell them, like, it's okay. People, I just have that energy and that vibe about me. People feel really safe telling me things. And I love that about myself. I really am happy that I can be that person for so many people. And they know that they will never be judged, and that I will give them my, advice that will come from my heart and my soul and from a good place. And I love helping guide people. I love helping people heal. I love being there for people and just giving them, whatever type of advice I can to make them happier and help them figure out whatever situation they're in. And that's ultimately, I'll come back to my point I'm trying to make, but that's ultimately like what I'm trying to do with this channel. I want to be some sort of healing coach, life coach, helper, healer, that just helps people become the best version of themselves. So anyway, back to this lady. She, shared with me that her daughter was running around with my son, that before her daughter, she lost her baby. So sad, so tragic. Happens to so many women, right? Um, late, a late miscarriage. And she, with a smile on her face, was like, and I wasn't able to realize it while I was going through it. I went through my grief, I went through everything. She's like, but I realized that although that happened, I now have my daughter. That brought me my daughter. She's like, I might not have her if I didn't have a miscarriage. And I know that's kind of weird to think of, and in my head, I thought like, oh, I bet you it's the same baby soul. I bet you that was who wasn't able to be born the first time she came back. Because I truly believe that happens. But it was really beautiful for her to see, she's like, it was terrible. It was heart-wrenching. It was, one of the hardest things I ever go through. I was devastated, but my silver lining was I got my baby though. I got my little girl, and look at her, and I'm so happy, and I have this child, and it's terrible that my other one wasn't able to be here, but I have one. And I thought it was really just beautiful that she was able to do that, because it's hard. But if you don't do that, you get stuck in the grief, you get stuck in the sadness, right? It's like you have to allow yourself to grieve, whether it's a death, whether it's a loss of a relationship, a friendship. We give ourselves that time to grieve. And then not that you have to stop, because some losses in life you will always forever grieve, right? But it's just a different type of grief. It's a grief that you start with the I'm crying my eyes out type thing, to like, okay, it's time to pick myself up. I'm going to still grieve you. I'm still going to, be upset about this, but how can I kind of start to heal from it and then try to find a silver lining, And I know that sounds like crazy. It's like my father died of cancer, right? I will grieve him for the rest of my life. He was my best friend. And I miss him every single day. I hate that he never met my husband. He never met my children. He never saw me pregnant. So much stuff, right? I'm going to get emotional. But my silver lining is that I had an amazing dad. And I got him till I was 28 years old. And I got that experience. A lot of people don't. I also got to say goodbye to him. He passed away of cancer. So we knew he was sick. I was prepared. It wasn't a sudden, tragic, like freak accident thing. Like I got to say my goodbyes. I got to be there when my dad took his last breath. I got to hold his hand. I got to tell him it was okay to go. I got to tell him I loved him. And I got to be there. And that's really special. Another thing a lot of people don't have, right? So for me, that was my silver lining. That was what I could look at in the face of grief to say, okay, well, at least this, right? And again, I know that's so hard to do. And it's so hard to do. You might be thinking, yeah, but like something really horrible happened to me. How am I supposed to say, well, the silver lining is this? Well, maybe something really dark and messed up happened to you. But maybe the silver lining is once you are able to pick yourself up and say, I'm not going to be a victim anymore of this person or this thing that happened to me. I'm going to go out and I'm going to speak out about it. And I'm going to find other survivors and I'm going to help them heal. And I'm going to let them know that they are more than this tragic event that happened to them. And I am going to take this terrible, evil, horrible thing and I'm going to turn it into something that I'm able to share to help people heal. Right? So it's just like another example of like trying to find that silver lining, try to find that happiness when you're ready to, though. I'm not saying don't grieve, don't be sad, don't be upset, don't be, in a really sad, depressed part, whatever, of your life for a little bit. But we always have to pick ourselves up and keep living, keep breathing, because we are so lucky to be here. We are so lucky to be alive and to have this amazing experience of life, right? It's not really where I was gonna, oh, there's a hummingbird outside my window, how amazing. Where I was planning to go with this video. I wanted to do a couple more videos coming up of a little bit more of my backstory, my childhood, and how that shaped me, things that came out of it, that then led me to other parts of my life. These will be a couple of videos that then led me to my relationship, and just how all of these things, basically things that happened to me, good and bad, that helped shape who I am, and how I was able to heal and grow from them. Some of them are really heavy topics, and some of them aren't. Some of them are a little bit lighter. I want to also share my shamanic breathwork journey, and what happened to me during that, my story of that, and a plant healing journey that I did that was life changing, and yeah, and how it just all set me on this path, and how it's made me who I am. And I'm just here to share and help and heal, right? So again, please feel free to go on to my Instagram, message me if you have any questions about anything, if you want to talk, if you need advice. Maybe there's something you'd like to see me talk about, or you have a question about something and I can address it in a video. Again, I'm here to help. I'm here to help you grow, step into your power, heal from your trauma, become the best version of yourself so you can live a life full of happiness, and love and health and abundance. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Love and light out to all of you.